Shalom. Shalom. All praise to the Most High, man. Y'all know how I'm coming. Straight off the top of the T. Grateful. Got gratification. Thankful. I mean, this is the day to give thanks, right? Excuse me. Out here working out too, so. But I just thought, man, I'd come and leave a little nugget, man. A little bit of encouragement. I understand, man. I know people be like, oh, celebrating these holidays, it ain't that serious. You know, and again, if God ain't put that conviction in you, then, you know, so be it. Same way when we come and we talk about these laws and we talk about the revised covenant versus the old covenant, we talk about the grace. You know, it's a whole rack of things we can debate about. But see, I know that Yahshua said that if you going to worship the Most High, our Father Abba, we going to worship him in spirit and in truth. Meaning he's revealing to his children, he's putting in our hearts his laws, statutes, and commandments. He's not writing it on tablet no more. He's writing it within us on our hearts. So again, if you're not convicted of it, then he might ain't put it on your heart. He ain't wrote it on your tablet yet. But all I'm saying is, this isn't to condemn anybody. Because yes, you're going to have one side here, you're going to have one side there. I'm not Abba. I don't know how he's going to pass his judgment. I'm just going by the scriptures. And when them scriptures tell me not to engage in what the heathens do, not to engage in their paganistic holidays and the things that they are engaging in, then I'm going to adhere to that. Because for me, that's me worshiping Abba in spirit and truth. He has feast days. He gave us days to worship him and celebrate. Those who are his, those who know. So like I said, this ain't for everybody, you know. Just like Christianity, if you understand the true origin of it, I don't think you'll be calling yourself a Christian. But again, it's hard to get people to understand or comprehend when they don't spend time with Abba, when they don't spend time in the Word, but they will spend time on YouTube and listen to somebody else spoon feed them. When that scripture, 2 Timothy 2:15, you know I was going to say it. Tell us to study to show ourselves approved, meaning we have to be scribes out here. He said a king searches out the matter. So if you're a king, that's what you're going to do. You're not going to take everything for face value, or you're not going to take things for word of mouth. You're going to go do research for yourself and figure these things out, right? So I understand we got trolls. I understand we got bots. I understand we got plants people put out here to basically sway the masses in the wrong direction, in a direction contrary to going in the way of the Most High. That's how the enemy is working. Understand, like I said again, you got a wide road and you got a narrow road. That wide road is going one direction. The narrow road is going against the resistance of a lot of people. And see, the thing about us who are set apart and standing out, we're going to have to go up against a lot of resistance, because it's going to be things that we've been taught. This is why he say renew the mind. It's going to be things that we thought was right. And he said we have to renew the heart. A lot of what we taught got to go in the trash. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. But that's for those who choosing to walk this thing out and really be about Abba. If you want to be the way of the world and you want to be with the world, continue doing what you're doing. Like I said again in my last video, for us who are peculiar, we don't worry about what the world got going on. Even though I know it's empathy between the flesh and the spirit, I'm not about to sit up here and battle or sit up here and worry about foolish things. I say pick your battles wisely. And a wise man knows when to pick his battle. And a wise man knows when some things is just, you got to be quiet and let people do what they going to do. But it's so much history in the scriptures. And if you just get out of the what they call it, Canonical 66, you got other books. You got other things that speaks to us that Yah uses. Like I was doing a Bible study with my children the other day, and I was doing it with my son, right? And he watches anime, you know. And I know people gonna be like, well, you gotta watch what your children watch. But see, I know if I'm raising my son up and I'm teaching him the ways of the Most High, you know, at the end of the day, they my children. But at the end of the day, they belong to Abba's first. But as we was doing the Bible study, I had picked a plan. It was called War Room. And in it was talking about the 4 horsemen. And he was telling me about an anime that he was watching that was kind of similar to the 4 horsemen. I think he was calling it the 4 apocalypse, 4 chaotic something. But I just seen how he was able to reverence what he had been watching in that anime to what we were studying in the Bible. See, we are our children's first teachers. That is a given. I can't worry about what the world got going on if I don't even worry about my home first. And that's what I had to understand as I started to walk with Abba, because I had so much zeal. I was ready to go out here in the world and try to worry about what the world got going on, and I'm not even worried about my own home. So, you know. And like I say again, even with my own family, because I know in Revelation what it say. Yahushua was coming back like a lion with a sword to divide, right? Now, I pray for my family because I don't want no division in my family. But at the end of the day, right, I can't force this on here. Only thing I can do is pray that Abba continues to prick at their heart, continues to drop the scales from their eyes and their ears. But I got to continue to walk this thing out. You know, as I look at my mother, God rest her soul, she didn't try to sway me and my sister and brothers to, you know, do this and do that when it came to following Yah. She planted the seeds. She gave us the information. You know, she had Bible studies with us. But of course, we strayed away. We went our own way. We went into the world. We did things. But see, one thing I can say, that seed that she planted in me brought me right back. I was like the prodigal son. I was so geeking to go out in the streets and see what the world had to hold. And once I ended up at the bottom where I'm eating pig trough and pig slop, I'm realizing, man, I need to go back home. And I ain't talking about the physical home. Because like I said, I've been on my own since I was about 14. But I knew I had to return back to Abba. Because I seen the way that the enemy was taking me. And I'm not gonna lie, it seemed right, it seemed good. Being the life of the party, being the center of attention, thinking people really love you for you when it's really they loving you for what you can bring. Because once you ain't got it, they don't care about you. So it was a lot of things he was able to expose to me and let me see. But see, I learned that the enemy also tries to use that because it made me have a hardened heart towards people. Because the first thing in my mind is, oh, everybody hurting me, everybody did this to me, they make me feel this way, woo-de-woo, crying, big baby, you know how that go. But now I understand. No matter what people do to me, I gotta still represent the Most High. I gotta still carry myself in the fashion that he said carry. When he said guard your heart, that's what he means. Because that's what the enemy is right now attacking with the world. And those who say that they Christians or those who say that they followers of Yah, he's attacking the heart. He wants to change your heart. Just like people talking about, oh yeah, I'm Christian, but don't get it mixed up. Don't get me wrong. I do that to you. Like, what? How in one breath you talking and praising Yah, but in the next breath you cursing and you talking about damage, and first thing people, oh, I'm a work in progress. I get that. But how long are you going to be a work in progress? Because after a while, when that conviction hit and when you really spending time with Abba, and I'm just going by experience, things just start to burn off you. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, when I first came to him, I was still doing things that I shouldn't. I was still in the gutter. I was still, fornicating, but that was the process. But over time, that conviction started to hit. So when I started to do these things, I ain't feel right doing them. So my whole thing is, if you still doing certain things you know you're not supposed to and you ain't getting no conviction, then you ain't ready. You ain't ready. And as I said again, it's levels to this, man. How much of Abba do you want? And I don't say it like that because he wants you to want all of them. He said, be holy, for I am holy. Be set apart, for I am set apart. I was reading the story of Esther with my brothers the other night. And I was in the Apocrypha watching and reading the editions of Esther. And I say the enemy is very, very slick. If you don't pay attention, he will get that wool over your eyes, man. And that's why I say I thank the Holy Spirit. Because as I'm reading the editions of Esther, it is going into more details of her and her uncle, or surrogate uncle, Mordecai, and Haman. But in the edition of Esther, they call him Haman. So I kept trying to figure out who's Haman. But then I started realizing, Haman. Just like in the 66, they call Artaxerxes, or Xerxes, which is in 300, they call him Ahasuerus. So again, you got to pay attention to the names, because in certain books they call an individual a certain name, but it's the same person, right? So I looked at that because, from my understanding, because of Esther, Xerxes' heart, and because of his father Darius, because Darius left a decree that his predecessor will allow the children of Israel to worship their God and follow the laws of their God. Why? Because being king, he's seen the gloriness of the Most High Yah. It's the same with Nebuchadnezzar. You feel me? When Nebuchadnezzar seen Daniel and the Hebrew boys, and he tried to throw he tried to throw the Hebrew boys in the fiery furnace. Nebuchadnezzar witnessed the glory of God, and he even made a decree that nobody come up against these Israelites and their God. Let them worship their God. But see, I seen after time, when the enemy couldn't have the heart of that king anymore, he went to the next. So this is how you go from Babylon to Greece to Persia to Rome. Because even amongst the Romans, they even started when Paul, remember, he was sent to the Gentiles, but he was a Benjamite. But because Paul, being of the what was those? I say their name all the time, and now I can't even think of their name right now. The Sadducees and the Pharisees. He understood the mind frame that these other nations had, being misled. So that's why he was able to speak to other nations, the Gentiles. But also understand, amongst the Gentiles were also people like him who had been misled. You had the Yahudim scattered. Remember, they were scattered around this time. So they was in the Rome, they was in Asia, they were in Persia. They were scattered. So when Rome was going to the Gentiles, as most people would say Gentiles, he was going to the house of Israel who had been scattered but had been misguided. Even us being here in America, us Yahudims, just like people don't understand, the Indians, that was Hebrew Indians. And it wasn't no coincidence that Columbus came over and did what he did to them Indians. And look at now, today we supposed to be so-called celebrating the massacre of a people. So for me, I take this day, I'm going, I already started I'm going to get this to Abba. That's what I'm saying. Now my family, they choose to want to go and spend time with family, and maybe this the only time they can do it. I understand it. Like I said, I pray for them. That Abba pricks their heart if it's necessary, if it's his will for them. Because again, I can't push what Abba has for me onto somebody else. I just know what he has me. And I want to worship him in spirit and truth, like Yahushua was said to do. And forgive me if I'm all over the place, but I'm just really trying to break this thing down to the finite ability that somebody comprehends. Because the world is going to be the world. And these foul spirits that's moving around, this is how they're getting their power. This is how they're getting, how can I say it? This is how they're becoming more manifested. Because when we engage in activity that's against the Most High Yah, we engage in the activity by default into things that was set by the enemy. Remember, the pagans worship us whole certain different type of way. Today is a day of gluttony, really, And again, it could be a time to spend with your family. It's all depending on how you look at it. For me, I'm going to say, why turn it to Thanksgiving of the world? Why not just sit with your family and y'all focus on the scriptures and spend time with Abba? And y'all can still eat, But I don't know, just for me, I'm just saying, I don't want to engage in the activity that has the word Thanksgiving in it, because I'm not about to engage with demonic forces. Why? Because on the surface level, it ain't that serious. It don't look that bad. This ain't something that Abba gonna send me to hell for. I don't know, honestly. So I can't say that. But I know he pricked my heart about it years ago, coming into this truth, when he told me about all the holidays that is not of him. So I'm like, again, why would I engage in them? When he have holy days, he have feast days, he have the Sabbath, he have the Day of Tabernacle, he had the days of trumpet. All these things you can find in Leviticus. And when he's ready, I really feel like he's going to show us and demonstrate to us how these things supposed to be celebrated. But right now, leaning on our own understanding, trying to understand or figure things out, it's not probably going to turn out the best way. And I only say that because I had a brother who was telling me about a friend he got that's a Hebrew, and he was celebrating, I believe it was the Day of Tabernacle. But of course, they kind of mixed it. They try to intertwine it with the way that the scriptures say do it, but also try to bring it in like a worldly way, where they doing things, drinking and more so getting drunk. And it was more about getting drunk, And that's the thing that I was reading about Esther, because it was talking about how the king had a law and a decree of people to drink. And the king was getting drunk for the past 7 days until he felt good. Then he was calling on his queen at the time, which was Vesta, Queen Vesta. I think I'm saying her name right. Vestigia, Vesta, whatever. And he wanted her to come, and he wanted to show her off like a trophy. And she wasn't feeling that. She's like, she's a queen. I get most men gonna say, well, she need to be submissive. I call her to come. She need to, no. Because again, the Most High is teaching us, if the head isn't well, the whole body gonna be sick. So because the king is getting drunk and he's belligerent and he's not ruling the way that he's supposed to, because he doesn't have a real helpmate to support him, to tell him that, look, babe, you messing up. Nah, you know. And that's why I say, as a team, men and women who get married, teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, I'm as a man, as a head, I'm not saying that I'm going to do everything 100% and I'm going to do everything right. You might see things from a different vantage point that you can bring to the table, you know, and we sit down and we discuss it. But don't talk at me. Don't talk down to me, you know, like I'm your son or I'm a little boy. No. And I'm not going to disrespect you, and I'm not going to talk down to you like you a little girl, or like I'm ruler over you. You know, and I think people take that script out of context. When God said rule over your wife, that wasn't what he was saying. He was saying cover her, keep her protected. Like Yahushua would love the church, you love your wife. That means just like Yahushua gave his life for us, we should be willing to give our life for our wife and our children. So going back to that, because Vashti, whatever her name is, I can't think of it. But y'all know it's the story of Esther. She didn't want to come to the king. So, of course, his counsel, which wasn't good counsel, because they was just as drunk and everything. So they say, oh, well, because she doesn't want to obey to the king, we're going to give her estate to some other queen. And this is how we get Esther. See, but understand, Esther was a wise woman. That's a Proverbs 31 woman. She was a submissive woman because she was submissive to Yah first. When she had problems and she had ordeals, she didn't go to her husband snappy and cussing him out and starting arguments and fight. No, she took it to the Father. I was reading Esther, the edition of Esther, man. It said that she took off her royal attire and got into some sackcloth and put some ashes and dung on top of her head. Come on, man, that's humility. And it made me think about when God told, I think it was Ezekiel. He told Ezekiel that he had to stay in the house and he had to make a pie and he had to put cow dung in it and eat it. Man, like I say, the things that the Most High tells us to do is called obedience, man. And sometimes what he tells us to do, it ain't gonna look right. It ain't gonna feel right. And of course, look at where we at now. The world look at us up inside down as though we crazy, as though it's something wrong with us. Ain't nothing wrong with us. We just choose to understand who is God of this universe, who is God of the heavens and earth, who is God of this world. And when he say do something, we gonna do it. It's just obedience. It's not I'm gonna do what I want to do because I got breath in my body and I got the free will to do it. But see, that's how the grace and mercy of Yah works. That's how much he loves us. That he's not gonna force his will on us. He's going to allow us to do what we want. And over time, you're going to get that little prick. But the enemy know how to come in subtle. That's why it say in the beginning of the Bible, in Genesis, the serpent was what? Subtle. He's not going to do nothing out of the way. He's going to line up with your will. Why? Because your will is the will of the world until your will is given over to Yah. Then you become the spirit man, and your will becomes Yah's will. Your way becomes Yah's way. So yes, you got to take the bumps. You got to take the bruises. You got to take the awkward stares. You got to take just the way of the world right now. People won't say, oh, you were in the pot of a coat. People going to disown you. People not going to want to be around you. Cool, fine, dandy. Like I say again, and I don't say this loosely because, again, we are still here to be of service. We are still here to help those who want their help. But at the end of the day, you came in this world by yourself. You're going to go out by yourself. Yeah, you had help. You know, God brought you in this world with the Holy Spirit, with your moms and your dad. Woot-de-woot, we can go there. But when it came through it, you came through that canal on your own. And when you die, you're going to die on your own. See, so my whole thing is, the world is tangible. So if I keep holding on to it, I'm never going to let go of it to be able to hold on to Abba. So understand, man. And like I was saying earlier, bring it back to my train of thought, how the enemy is so slick, right? Like I said, because I've been referencing the movie 300 for a long time, because I looked at Artaxerxes as a villain, the way that they portrayed him in 300. But in retrospect, looking at the scriptures, if you read in Esther, Artaxerxes wasn't a bad person. He wasn't a real bad king after Esther got with him, because he actually started to decree to let the children of Israel be able to keep to their law, statutes, and commandments and follow their God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He decreed that. And see, I realized when the enemy couldn't use him anymore or use the Persian army anymore, now he goes over to Rome. And if you look at 300, right, you see they portray Artaxerxes, as this so-called God king who was conquering everything. And then he gets to Sparta. Of course, he dominates, destroys them. But then if you see, they come back with a 300 part 2, you know, and they supposed to come, and I believe, I got to watch it again. I can't recall. But I believe they actually took over the Persian Empire after that. But like I said, the heart of the king is in Yah's hand. He sets up and he tears down those he put in position. Just like Nebuchadnezzar. He used Nebuchadnezzar to bring the children of Israel into captivity because of their disobedience. But he also changed Nebuchadnezzar's heart to be able to worship him after seeing all the miracles and signs and wonders. And see, that's the thing about us being representatives of the Most High, because people are able to see the Father through us. Just like I said again, Daniel, he got thrown in that lion's den. And every king that came up during Daniel's time, Daniel had favor. Meshach and Abednego, you know, when they got thrown in that furnace. Yah uses us if we allow him to use us. And yes, it's not everybody's going to be swayed. Everybody's not going to agree on what you got going on in your doctrine, on how you following the Most High and things of that nature. But that doesn't mean you allow them to sway you and take you out of your character. That's why he said, guard your heart. See, because think about it. When Nebuchadnezzar was king, that wicked council that was trying to come up against Daniel, because Daniel would pray every day. What happened when Daniel was in his window and praying, when they made the decree that nobody should pray a certain day, all praise should go to the king? And Daniel said, nah, I'm not doing that. That's why I say again, it ain't nothing new under the sun. We still got to stand on business even in this modern day. When the world say we need to be doing this, nah, Abba. You say no, okay, I'm not doing it. I'm standing on business. And if that means I get rejected, if that means that I lose friends and family and people don't care to be around me, so be it. I'm going to do what Abba wants me to do. The Most High Yah is who gave me breath, who gave me life. So he's going to get it back through me at all costs. I don't care about nothing the enemy got going on. I ain't straight like that. Because again, the enemy ain't nothing but an accuser, a deceiver. He's the avenger. He wants us to be turned away from Abba so bad and so much. He gives us the desires of the heart. This is why I always bring up Yahushua going up on that mountain. That was the show of hand right there. Because he tried to get Yahushua, which I don't know why he thought he was going to get the word to switch up on God. This was the word manifested. This was part of God. Like, come on, man. But he had to show, to demonstrate to us in the flesh that the devil is going to come with temptations, that he's going to come offering you the kingdoms of this world. But you got to stand on business, even when you weak. And at that time when he offered it to Yahushua, when Yahushua was weak, he had been fasting. What most people say, man, look, man, I took that deal. I had to do what I had to do for my family. But you didn't turn to Abba. You didn't turn to the Father. And I don't slight everybody because most people don't know, but I'm talking about those who know. But they still choose to accept the things from the enemy. And I'm speaking on myself because there was times when I knew right from wrong and I still took the things of the enemy. Why? Because at the end of the day, I felt like if I couldn't do what I needed to do as an individual, more so as a man, I felt weak. I felt slighted. Not realizing that that's what Abba wanted me to be, because he said when I'm weak, he's strong. I can't be strong and Abba be strong. It don't work like that. So again, I got to be humble enough to know, look, it's nothing I can do if it ain't in the will of the Father. But see, this world is trying to create people to believe that, look, you make your own destiny. You manifest your own destiny. You got the power to do this. You got the power to do that. Man, that's a lie from the enemy. It's a lie from the pits of hell. Not saying that we don't have power, but use the power that Abba gives us. Not the power that, the false power that the world is trying to give us through the devil. All right, but look, I'm about to get back to this workout because it's kind of getting cold out here. But I just thought I'd come and bring that little tidbit. I'm going to try to do this Bible study. I think I'm in Psalms 3 and 4 Saturday. Lord willing, I might go live or I might do a recording, man. But like I said, I'm just being obedient. I'm just being a servant of the Father. You know, I'm not here looking for no recognition, none of that. But again, if these videos help you, if these videos speak to you in any way, you know, like it and share. And I just thank those who do support and thank those who come on the channel, man. Like I said, because every day I'm stepping out of my comfort zone trying to do something that it just wasn't ever a part of me. I always been, what they say, an introvert, or I never been a people person, whatever you want to call it. But I know that Abba has a plan for me. He has a purpose for me. So whatever he's going to do, I got to let him finish that work that he starts in me. You feel me? And I know for somebody else out there, because I'm seeing a lot of other people starting to speak out and start their channels, man. And kudos to all y'all, man. Yeah, kudos to all y'all. My brothers, the young brothers from Philly, man. I love y'all, man. I love y'all, man. My brother Hezekiah, man. Like, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all inspire me, real talk, man. Like, just to see y'all hungry and see y'all will to serve the Father and bring out that word, you know. And like I said, y'all younger than me, but y'all, again, y'all inspire me. And maybe if somebody can, like, reach out to me, because like I said, I'm not good with this whole technology thing, so I don't know how to do all that editing and, you know, all that stuff. But all I got is what Abba put in me, and, you know, praying that my gifts make a way for me, and more so just that they touch those who need to be touched, man. But for the body of Yahusha, the Yahudims, and the Gentiles who've been grafted in, you know, the wild branches, man. Like I said, love all y'all, man. Y'all keep fighting a good fight. Keep staying strong. Don't let the enemy tear you down. Don't let him make you go backwards. Keep going forwards. Stay the course, man. I'm trying to tell you, that reward that Abba has for us is nice, but we gotta just stay the course and we gotta be obedient. That's what he's looking for, and we gotta. And I say this, and it's not to condemn anybody, but we got to stop trying to mix Abba with the world. He said we set apart for a reason. Now, I get it. Like I said, in due time, everybody going to come to that point. If Abba put it in your heart and he pricks your heart, so be it. But we got to be careful, because it is babes that's on here, that's watching us. And again, like I said, we are ambassadors. We are living examples of how to walk this thing out. So we can't mislead nobody. And like I said again, God forgive me if I said anything, done anything, or misled anybody in any type of way. Never my intentions. Always trying to come on here and speak truth and just speak from my experiences, the best way I know how to. So with that being said, man, y'all have a blessed day, man. Spend time with the Father. Because understand, man, I keep saying it and I'm going to keep saying it. Whatever is to come over this horizon, the scriptures already speak of it, the days of darkness, the day that the Lord has made for us. Because those who are not with him, they're going to feel this judgment that he's about to pass. But for us, who choosing to be with him and choosing to be unto him, we go through our persecution now. So that when I become, I don't want to go through the persecution when I become. Oh, that's the worst. That's worse than what the world got going on and doing to us. Nah, I take what they got dishing out versus what Abba's about to dish out. Right, but like I said, with that being said, y'all enjoy y'all day. Again, like, share. Shalom.